I think it's live. I don't know. If you can see me or hear me, please let me know in the chat. I am trying to watch my own, but it looks like there's an ad. What is going on here? Okay, so I must be live. Just gonna kind of wait a second until someone can tell me if they can hear me or not. Whatever, I'm going for it. So this is the Killer Arcade Games live stream. I'm Chris, and I thought it'd be fun to answer some of your questions. Any question you may have had, whether it was whatever, my favorite arcade game, or, which is kind of obvious by the way, my favorite arcade game, or my favorite color, anything stupid, whatever you want to do. Oh, okay, so people can see me. Thank you. Feels very weird. I don't hear anything but me talking, of course. So, anyway, how is everybody tonight? I've got a screen over here. That's why I'm looking off to the side so I can actually see the chat. I'm guessing there's a bit of a delay. Alright, looks like Cobra Kyle is here. Dwayne Burgess. I know he's been working on that, his own mod and having some trouble here and there, but I'm glad he's hopefully getting that thing done. Brian Gillette, Christine Robbins. I don't know who that person is. That's weird. Alright, well, I may just jump right into it. I'll start with a little bit of news for the channel. Stuff you may not even care that much about, but it's been bothering me. I've been waiting for... I finally got it, but I've been waiting since right after Thanksgiving. I ordered the light-up marquee for the Mortal Kombat 4 cabinet, and it finally showed up like maybe a week ago, if that. So that's great and all, but the problem is it may not fit because the big speakers that are back here on the back of this. So I either may have to order another marquee or just try to mod the heck out of the actual marquee that was sent to me. It's a whole mess. Arcade Game Factory makes great marquees, but he tends to be very slow on shipping and not very good with communication. So I couldn't really ask any questions. I just had to order the thing while it was available. So yeah, it's going to go up soon. We'll see. But that's one of the things that's coming. It's been really bothering me to have the Killer Instinct light up and then the Mortal Kombat 2 lit up, but this is not lit up. It is coming soon, though. And I think you can see it. The Final Fight over there, that is going to be... I don't care at all about Final Fight, I'll be honest with you. I know some of you guys do. It wasn't something I ever played as a kid. I bought it because it was on sale, and it's going to get modded. We'll probably talk about... I'll probably answer one of these questions coming up here, and they're going to... Anyway, one of the questions is going to make me answer and tell you exactly what that's going to turn into. It's no big secret or anything. I was just trying to keep it for a video reveal coming soon, but we'll just reveal it here. So Dwayne's mod is coming along great. The gameplay's perfect. Just have to set up Maximus. Maximus is pretty easy, but who knows? I say it's easy. I had trouble starting the Killer Instinct mod. I had trouble with the MK2 mod. There's always something that goes wrong. Oh boy, thoughts on the 2020 Arcade 1-Up lineup. This isn't me being upset, by the way. Usually I can edit all this crap out when I'm doing this later, but live stream, we're doing it live, let's get it done. So, there's nothing I'm terribly excited about other than maybe the pinball. I'm actually quite excited for the pinball now that I think about it. I don't have any more room in here for it. It's probably going to go downstairs when we get it. And I'm probably getting the Star Wars pinball because that's what my wife would really want. I personally don't care either way. I just want some virtual pinball. Depending on the price and how it actually looks when it releases, I'm hoping that it doesn't look too different from what they showed at CES, but I think they'll be able to hit the mark, and hopefully they'll still be able to hit that like right around $500 price point. That would be ideal. I don't know if I'll mod it. It's just because you just get into such an expensive territory that you're like, you know, the computer you'd need to mod it needs to be pretty high powered, because if you're going to do a virtual back glass and a virtual play field, you're going to have a lot to work on there. And you're just going to have a nice computer with a nice graphics card, dual monitors and all that. And I really don't know much about virtual pinball. I may just leave that one stock. That'll be the first ever Arcade 1-Up anything I've bought that doesn't get modded in some way. Unless something's really bad about it, I'll just leave it stock. But moving on, as far as the rest of it goes, NBA Jam looks really cool. Again, I'm kind of out of space, and we'll get to the whole NBA Jam thing a little bit later. Trying to think what else they announced. Nothing that I'm terribly excited about, just because I have to be very picky on what I actually buy since I don't have much room. It's probably like the 10th time I've mentioned that on this stream, but that's just the truth. Trying to think what else. I mean, I would love to get the Star Wars cabinet. My wife really wants it. If anything, it would be more decoration because neither of us ever really played that when it was in arcades. I think it came out a little bit before my time in arcades, so I never ran into it really. But I can't really think of much else that I'm going to buy from it. I do like Arcade 1-Up, but it's rare they're going to make an arcade cabinet that I'm going to say I have to have. In my case, I'm usually going to be buying whatever the cheap cabinet is so I can turn it into something I've wanted all my life. And it seems like the games that I really want are the games that they're unlikely to make. Now, I know I made that 5 games that Arcade 1-Up will not ever probably release, and I did include Virtual Pinball on there, and boy, people are having a good time pointing that out. They love telling me how I was wrong. But this is YouTube, so there's no surprise there. I'm happy to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I want them to make everything on that list. I just don't think it's going to happen. Well, I don't know. I've changed my mind a little bit about Killer Instinct maybe happening, but I'm not going to get into that right now. We'll talk about that another time. Let me see. I've got to look at the chat real quick. Okay. Have you ever... Oh. Brian, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with the Final Fight cabinet soon here. It's going to relate to one of the questions. Have you... Cobra Kyle, have you ever played Shaq Fu? My mom bought it for me as a kid, and I wanted Street Fighter because it was cheaper and nearly the same. Yes. Oh, when I wanted. Okay. Yes. No. I've never played Shaq Fu, but good God, I've heard it's awful. And Street Fighter, while I'm not a huge fan, that is a much better game. So I'm very sorry you got Shaq Fu. You got Shaq Fu really good there, it sounds like. Yeah, pinball is a must-buy at $500. I think it's just a good deal at that point. Space is definitely an issue for maybe everybody, but really for me, unless I want to get rid of some stuff in here. And this room's really not that big anyway. So what I'll do now is I'm going to switch over. I'm going to try to do this without looking too confused. Okay, so switch over to the questions that I posted on the community tab on the YouTube page for the channel. They're not in any specific order. I'm just going to grab the first one, which happens to be BKXC. I don't know if he's in here right now, but Brian asks, what arcade game do you think you've spent the most money on? That was a question that's actually kind of kept me up at night, weirdly enough. I woke up in the middle of the night asking or thinking of what am I going to say to that. That's a really weird question. Not a weird question, but a really good question. A hard one for me to answer. My first impulse is like, oh, Killer Instinct. I played the heck out of that, but I was good at Killer Instinct. I didn't need to keep pumping money into it. It was like, I could just go through one credit and beat the game almost every time. Even back then I was pretty good, and even when it's on hard, I can usually blow through it no problem. So it's probably not Killer Instinct. My next thought, which is probably my answer, and I'm realizing it more now that I have it, I'm going to say Mortal Kombat 2 probably. Maybe Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I was good at Mortal Kombat 2 when I was younger. I don't know what happened. So maybe Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And the reason I say that is that game was designed, like Mortal Kombat 2, was designed to take your money. And I realize it more now as an adult when I can actually just play it for free and see all of its flaws. When I was younger, I was thinking, oh, I was so excited to play, I didn't care if I could keep putting money in it. But I do remember that game taking my money quite a bit and being pretty disappointed about it. Beyond that, I really can't think of another one that I just felt like I pumped so much money into. I guess it could be Killer Instinct just because of the amount of times I played it. But I think that's my answer. I think I'm going to go with Mortal Kombat 2 or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Let me switch over again. I'm going to have to move this around so I can see this better. So the next question I'm going to go with is from Stephen M. How do you feel about the new Arcade 1-Ups having Wi-Fi built in? How do you think it will affect the modding community? I don't know how Wi-Fi is going to affect the modding community because most of the time when people mod these games, they just get rid of the board altogether, so the Wi-Fi wouldn't matter. Trying to think of what you could actually do with that Wi-Fi. Maybe somebody smarter than me is going to find a way to hack it and be like, now I can just use the built-in Wi-Fi and download games somehow, but I'm really not sure how you would even pull that off. That's a pretty impressive one if they do that. Now, as far as the Wi-Fi goes, being in these games, I'm kind of not that into that. It's hard to explain why. I just feel like once they start modifying the actual games, and I know they have to in some cases, like Ninja Turtles, they had no choice but to change the theme song. It upset everybody. I get that. That wasn't a big deal to me, but if they like changed the Killer Instinct theme song, I would be mad. I wouldn't be happy at all about that. So that's kind of weird. Like I don't like when they start getting in and messing with them. I want these things to be just as if they were off the arcade floor, put into a tinier cabinet, and put in my house. So when they start adding things like, oh, you could play online with other people, it sounds really cool. But as a purist, I guess if you want to call me that, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't want my game to be interrupted by somebody wanting to play with me online. Now, I assume that you can turn all that off, and I assume it's some kind of overlay software because they really can't change the game too much. I did hear they did have to remove some people from NBA Jam. I don't know why some people, but I don't know if that's been revealed yet or not. Other than that, I don't know how they're going to mess with the Wi-Fi, and I don't know how it'll affect the modding community. I don't really know if it will. It seems like such a specific thing. Why spend the effort to try to actually mess with the Wi-Fi on the board rather than just getting rid of it and putting a Pi or a PC inside? So the next one I'm going to ask or answer is the QA Ninja Retro Dudes question. What is your first or favorite memory playing Killer Instinct in arcades and why? I actually have an answer for this one. I had one right away when I saw it. I'm going to go with my first memory. It's like a memory I'll never forget, really. I would have been 11 years old probably. I walked into my local arcade, the one that I loved, that always had the newest and latest games. I probably got there early because I was a nerd and I was like, I want to play. I don't want anyone bothering me. I don't want anyone interrupting my gameplay and try to beat me. So I walk in there looking for the usuals, Mortal Kombat. I'm like, all right, cool. And I see this new game that's sitting in the place where like they put their showcase kind of cabinets, the new ones. And I was thinking, what the hell is this thing? It's this big black cabinet. I don't know, something about it was just kind of like intimidating in a weird way. I just looked at it, was freaked out by it. And I figured, all right, I'm going to try it. I went and got my tokens, came back. I dropped my first token in, and it just got extremely loud. I mean, you guys know, but I'll just, for reference here.
Killer Instinct.
It yells Killer Instinct at me. And then, so I kind of actually jumped. I remember being embarrassed, looking around like, oh, nobody saw that. So anyway, I put the token in, I start playing, and all of a sudden, I'm matched up against Glacius. I don't remember who I first picked. Let me turn this off real quick. I don't remember who I first picked, but I fought Glacius first. He beat me, no problem. He did his crazy roar thing he does when he wins. And I was like left truly intimidated. I was kind of thinking like, this game doesn't look like it's even from this time. Being a kid, you're kind of dumb, and I'm standing around like, did I just find something I'm not supposed to find? Like, that makes no sense. But that's just the kind of feeling I have. Was like, this thing is freaking me out. It's way nicer than anything you've ever seen in an arcade. It just seemed like so strange, and nobody else played it. I walked away from it and kind of kept coming back slowly and checking it out. So I'll always remember that first time, and they had the volume up super loud too. So as soon as I dropped that token in, I mean, it just scared the hell out of me. I jumped literally, and I'll never forget that. I mean, this game looks like nothing you've ever seen before in 1994. I don't think games really caught up to it until like 96 or 97, really. So that's definitely my first and probably my favorite memory, honestly. I'm going to check the chat again really quick. Space has become an issue here. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Brian Gillette says, I've been putting together my Arcade 1-Up mod with Raspberry Pi and haven't been able to get MK4 to work. Have you used a Raspberry Pi for emulators, or have you gotten MK? Okay, well, you're never going to emulate Mortal Kombat 4 with a Pi. You're pretty much not going to emulate it with a PC unless you're running like a super high-end Core i7. So there's no way a Pi is ever going to do it. Even then, I've seen the PC emulation done on high-end PCs, and it's kind of still has problems. It looks like the characters actually have holes through their body. You can kind of see through the character models, and I mean, it's getting better every release, but you still need a ton of power. It's because of that crazy Zeus chip that they put on the actual arcade board. I would say try using maybe like a console emulator and just run maybe the Nintendo 64 version. I don't know if a Pi is powerful enough to run a Dreamcast emulator, but maybe try that. It may work. I like the Dreamcast version. I could just never get it running. I never put too much time into it either, though. Okay. Do you think Daytona is coming? Well, I really don't know what it takes to show me retro. Ask that one. I really don't know what it takes to run Daytona on a PC or whatever. It may not take much power, so it's possible it's coming. I would love it. I would love any racing cabinet, especially if it's a sit down, because I would probably just mod it, like I said before. But if I take it out of whatever it was and maybe I can turn it into something I really want, like San Francisco Rush. San Francisco Rush is probably never coming because emulating that also needs a super high-end Core i7. So it's possible it's coming. We'll see. Before I answer a few more, let me ask, is it Kill a Capri? I think that's what it says. Sorry, it's really small. What do you do as a living to afford all the games? Well, we have a family pest control business in Texas. So if you know Texas, it's usually very hot. We have a lot of bugs. We get a lot of termites. I go out and do most of the work right now. I'm trying to transition maybe later on to not doing all the work and doing more of a management position, but we'll see. My mom is still in the business. My dad is retired, but I'm kind of like the main guy right now. Believe me, I do okay, but it's not like I'm raking in the money or anything. So I pretty much paid for most of these, really, except for the first one, pretty much paid for most of them through YouTube money, which isn't much, but I do appreciate it. So every time you guys have to sit through an ad, I know it's a hassle, but it really does help out. And it can kind of keep things going. I could buy the next stuff to do the next video, the next project, and record it all for you and hopefully give you guys some information. So thank you for dealing with that. Oh God, there's gonna be a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to answer like one more and then move on for now. Okay, so the Pi does the PS1 version great. That's good to know. So keep a note of that. I think it was Brian who asked that one. How do I main my Arcade 1-Up? Well, Go Away Go 1000. You'll probably need to check my channel. You'll find a video that's probably, I think it was in June of last year. It's 40 minutes long. It'll tell you every step needed to get it done. I have links to everything you need. So just go find that one. It's a long video, but it's detailed, so you don't have, hopefully, too many questions and kind of get through it. Let me grab some water. Okay, well, I'm going to move on to the questions again really quick. Keep on target here. So David Dimming asks, did you pre-order Arcade 1-Up Burger Time cabinet, or why not? Thanks. I did not. The main reason being I never really played that game. I do like the look of the cabinet. I think it's pretty cool. But it came out probably, I have no idea when it came out, but I'm 36, and I just didn't play it. It's just not something that really interests me. Usually my arcade love comes from like the 92 on, and I can appreciate the older games. I just don't love them enough to put them in the house. Now, if I had a ton of room, I might buy up a lot of these. I just don't have the room for it, so I'll probably skip that one. Jake Goldberg says, do you have any plans on getting an arcade that isn't Arcade 1-Up? Maybe like a Rec Room Masters. I'll answer the first question first there. Rec Room Masters was what I was going to buy before Arcade 1-Ups came out. It was always so tough because it's like, I don't want the generic looking cabinet. I want it to look like Killer Instinct. And I know you could pay them to do it, and I know that their cabinets are higher quality. I never liked the idea of having to put a widescreen monitor in. I wanted it to look more like, the 4x3 square monitor. I don't think I'll ever get one now at this point. I say that, but God knows. I could do whatever. You never know what could happen. Maybe they'll make something I really love. I just don't have any plans at the moment. They're quite a bit more expensive, but they are quite a bit more higher build quality. So it's just kind of, if I need one, I'll get one. I don't really have any plans to at the moment. As far as other arcades go, I have considered buying a real arcade. Now, I think I've said it before, it wouldn't even fit through the door, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. If I buy a real arcade at this point, it's probably going to be a racing cabinet, like San Francisco Rush, maybe Hydro Thunder, all the games that I'm not going to be able to emulate. And getting them in here may be impossible, so I don't know where I'll put them. Long-term dream here, not probably going to happen, but possible. Building a building out in the backyard, like a nice shed that I can insulate and put air conditioning in. Maybe I could do that and then move all this out there. That's a long way off though, so I'm not even going to consider the idea of buying an arcade for that. So we'll see. I've seen some that I can actually afford. I just have nowhere for them. So it's a real disappointment watching them go by like that. I'm going to skip the next question, Jake. I'm sorry, but try to keep moving on here. I don't know how many more are there. I didn't even see all that. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'll answer kind of his third question down here. But let's move on for now. GamerDog says, I'm doing a project where I can put a real authentic arcade motherboard into an arcade one-up cabinet, like Killer Instinct or Mortal Kombat 4. Any tips or more information that I need to know? This is a tough one for me to answer since I just bought this thing as is. It was already all hooked up. It doesn't mean I couldn't do it myself if I had to. I've been meaning to get with somebody like Retro Ralph and talk to him about the setup. I know he actually talked Daniel through the setup of this cabinet. They were kind of talking at the time, and he knew how to do it. Daniel, I think, had him on FaceTime or something, so he could see exactly what was being done. And actually, Daniel ruined the first Mortal Kombat 4 board he put in this cabinet. He hooked one wire up backwards, the power wires, and he said it was literally arcing. There was a big electrical arc coming off the board, and it fried the board. So that must have really hurt, considering I think he told me that board was $300 or $400. So he had to buy another board, and that's the one that's in here. Thankfully, it's hooked up right. I really don't know. You would definitely need a converter board for the video signal. I know that much. You're going to have to get a power supply. You're going to have to make sure the voltage is right. You don't want to do something crazy that'll cook the board. I mean, these things are pretty easy to mess up if you don't know what you're doing. The best tip I can give, pretty sure whatever board you buy isn't going to come with a manual, so I'd get on Google right away, download the entire manual, and maybe even just print it out if you're not good at keeping track of it on, you don't want to have your laptop next to you or your phone. Just print it out, maybe leave it behind it or inside the cabinet, and that'll help you out a lot. I'm going to go for one more of these real quick. Jason Pinkney, I hope I said that right. What was your first arcade memory? Now, this one's similar to the Killer Instinct one. That Killer Instinct story is not my first memory. My first one is actually, really, it's hard to even call it an arcade. I went to the local, it was a Circle K at the top of my street. I don't know, it's crazy that, picturing how bad that area is now. My parents still live there, but boy, that area went kind of, downhill, and some unsavory people hanging around out there. And even back then, it was kind of I hope I don't run into the bad kids of the neighborhood. I was probably 9. I would walk up there and play and get an icy. Got to get your icy. And then I saw they had Mortal Kombat 1. I was thinking, well, I don't know what this is. I don't want to go home. Got a few extra quarters. Let me drop it in. And a 9-year-old me saw the fatalities, and I don't know what that says about me, but I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. That guy ripped that dude's head off. That's crazy. I'm not even going to tell my mom about that. And I would just start asking, hey, can I go up there and play? Get an icy, that's what I would say usually. And eventually she saw the game and was kind of that's fake, right? I said, yeah, I know it's fake. And thankfully we moved on, because I knew friends that were not allowed to play violent games. And, for me, it's kind of whatever. I'm not, who can tear someone's head off? That's just not possible, for one. And I remember the whole stink about Mortal Kombat was all over the news. The local news was covering it, and I was just sitting there please don't tell me I can't play that anymore. But yeah, I'd say that's my first arcade memory. I'm sure I'd been to Chuck E. Cheese before that, but you don't care about the games that much at the time. Whatever, that Mortal Kombat is what sucked me into arcade games. That's pretty much one of the big reasons I have this, other than the fact that it's just this is a classic game. You have to have this game. Even if you're not that big of a fan, it's you have to have a Mortal Kombat too. But yeah, that was one of the exciting parts, was finding the violent games. It was so sneaking off and doing something I shouldn't be doing. And the icy was pretty darn good. The last question is not really a question, it's more of a request, but Keith Leader 152 says, do a video upgrading just the bat top controllers to something more rigid than what comes with the cabinets by default, like the Mortal Kombat cabinet. Now these are all hapsticks. Now, way over here, I'm sure you can probably hear it. It's those terrible sticks that they include. They're passable, I'll say that, but I don't like them at all. I even switched, I haven't even really played it much, but I took the ball tops off the Final Fight and put my MK2 bat tops on there. made it a lot better, but I really haven't played it much. We did beat 1944 together. That was fun. I played actually a decent amount of Final Fight now that I think about it, but it just sucks. You can't save. You know, I don't want to have to keep stopping and going all the way back through the game. Let me switch the screen again. That does it for the, I believe that does it. Let me refresh. For the Ask Me Anything questions that were left on the page. If you just left one there, yeah, it's good. There's no one else there. Sorry, I am not used to talking this much. Okay. So I'll try to catch up on the chat really quick before I wrap it up. And, oh, wait a minute. I know I skipped a question now that I think about it. I'm sorry, guys. Because I was going to say what I'm working on next, but I don't know how I missed that. Hopefully I didn't skip other ones. Okay, I know it's in here. So maybe I did see... Maybe that was his question that I saw. Anyway, I believe it was... Let me at least give him credit. I think it was Jake Goldberg. So I skipped his middle question and his third question. Okay, so maybe that was the question. Sorry. Jake Goldberg asks, what are your future plans and your current or prospective arcades? So, I'll still probably, do a video kind of like officially talking about it, but the Final Fight cabinet is going to be turned into an NFL Blitz cabinet and a sports cabinet. So, it's only going to have a limited number of games probably. The ones that I really wanted are, of course, all 3 Blitz titles. NBA Jam, NBA Hang Time, Tournament Edition, all the fun ones like that. I'll probably put Open Ice on there even though I didn't play it much, but why not? It uses the same controller layout, and I think I would like to have that on there. So where I am in the process now is I've ordered everything basically, almost everything, not the actual side art. I'm going to have to wait a little bit on that. But I did just get the control panel in for it. I had to order a custom cut panel. I guess I could have done it myself, but I don't know how to cut the plexi. I'm not even going to bother. It's like just pay Tulsa Arcades, and he cut me a nice panel. He knew exactly what I was talking about because I actually played the game at Daniel's house, and I was like, okay, I've got to get one of these. I should have just bought the cabinet from Daniel. He offered me the shell, basically, just the cabinet with the art already on it. No control deck. It was all pulled out of there and gone. But it at least had the monitor, and he was like selling it for $75. I think the big problem was I didn't have room to take it home with me. I probably would have just done it. And I was already thinking, like, I don't need this thing. I don't need any more arcades. And look, here we are. Found that one for $100, bought it, and now I probably would have saved myself like $175 if I just bought his. Oh well, moving on. I actually ordered, I did order the control panel art for it, and that is because I had to order it from a different place. Escape Pod has the side art and everything, and it looks great, but he has a control panel that looks really generic. I don't like it. No offense to them, of course, they probably did the best they could with what they had. But Arcade Graphics actually has the 100%, I think, accurate arcade Blitz arcade cabinet control panel with all the button naming, like the turbo, pass, all that stuff. I did consider getting fancy and trying to split the cabinet, and this would have been kind of difficult, asking them to essentially split the art down the middle. So one side would be Blitz, one would be NBA Jam. But I realized that would probably be really expensive, difficult for them to do too. I do run the risk of things not coming out right, and I was like, just forget it, let's just go with Blitz. I prefer Blitz over NBA Jam anyway, but I'm going to play them all. So I'm really excited to get it done. I've ordered the PC, the Dell Optiplex. It is the same one I linked to on the how to mod your MAME cabinet, or how to mod your arcade one up into a MAME cabinet video. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of that soon. I'm probably going to have it at least running, not necessarily playable because I don't have the controls yet, but have it at least up and running in the cabinet by next week, I would think. So we'll see. But I plan to do a video on it, go into more detail about the stuff I've ordered. Probably going to do several videos, like a building series, and then maybe at the end I'll do like one big, this is what I did here. I'm not going to do a whole nother how to do it because it's basically the exact same as my other video on how to mod an arcade one up, but I will do that one so you can kind of, if you really do want to build a Blitz, you could say, well, I can take the information from this video and then take this new Blitz video and mash them together if you want to build your own Blitz. I'm going to try to maybe work with Tulsa Arcades, with Arcade Graphics, maybe even Escape Pod, and maybe even Tornado Terry to see if he can build a Blitz-specific bundle for the arcade one-up. Now, I'm not using the 49-way joysticks. I don't care that much personally. These are just fine. They feel the same. They don't have as much, I guess, movement or They don't go out as far, but whatever. I don't really need that anyway. So that's that. Now I'm going to catch up on the chat, which shouldn't be too difficult. Let me look here. Have you ever been to Japan? Jeff Assassin says, have you ever been to Japan and been to the arcades and retro game stores? They have everything there, and it's a gamer's paradise. I haven't been to Japan. I have never even left the U.S. now that I think about it. 36 years old. I live this close to Mexico. I'm not going to Mexico either, though. Maybe Cancun, but not going to Mexico. Never left. I've seen Mexico very close when I passed by. Like, there's a few times I've gone by El Paso, and it's like, oh, Mexico's like right there. You can like see buildings in Mexico, no problem. But no, never been to Japan. I would like to go to Japan one day. I do think that's a really interesting place, but that's probably a really long way off, especially since I'm going to be taking over a business. And it's very hard to leave town when you own a business, I've noticed. Hollow Squad, I'm not going to get the NBA Jam Cab. Unless something crazy happens, I might grab it, but since I'm doing my own arcade 1-up mod of an NFL Blitz, it's going to have NBA Jam. I don't really see the need to have it. I don't need a 4-player cabinet. 2 people mainly have ever touched these cabinets, and just recently a third, BKXC, was in town and he played my arcades, and I was telling him he should feel very special because nobody's played these things but just me and my wife. So 4 players is just not necessary for me. It looks really cool though. I'd like to have it just for the art. Maybe one of these days if I find it discounted or something, I might grab it. Who knows? Keep moving on. That is a long name. Sorry, I'm reading. I apologize. Okay. Group Dookie Train album Deuce Lounge. Love it. Do you have a retro arcade that you put together yourself? If so, why buy more cabinets if you already have one cabinet that has everything? I do like that question. There's no good answer, especially if my wife is watching. Like this Killer Instinct basically it does have all these games. It has Mortal Kombat 4, even though it's the PC version. I just wanted to have the proper control layouts. You really got me in a bad position here. It's very nerdy, but Mortal Kombat has a specific button layout. So I decided I would definitely buy a Mortal Kombat cabinet, which turned into, now I'm going to mod that one, and I'm going to put all the games that use the 5-button layout. Some of them have 6, like War Gods. And then it turned into, oh, well, this MK4 is available. I wanted to build one myself. Why bother when I can get it really cheap? I just had to drive to Mississippi to get it, but I went and got it. And then it turned into, I found a $99 cabinet. I want an NFL Blitz. I don't need an NFL Blitz, but the only way I can play Blitz currently is on the Mortal Kombat 2 over here. And it's the PC version, and it's good, but I really like things to be exactly as they were. So the short answer should just be because I'm a 36-year-old man-child that has a little bit of disposable income, and it helps the channel. Like, I have content for the channel. I'm building these arcades. It's fun. We can talk about them. And I don't know. That's about it, really. Like, I don't think I'll ever even sell these unless something crazy happens and something better comes along. Even if I was able to buy a Killer Instinct real cabinet today, I'd probably still keep this one. But I say that now. Who knows? It's a great name, though. Moving on. Hi, 8 big kids. Hello from Australia. That's really cool. I hope the fires are getting a little bit better. I don't really know what's happening. I haven't heard much about it lately. Okay. Now, Killa Capri, I hope I'm saying that right. It's so far away. An MK Trilogy arcade 1-up would be sick. I agree. I'm not going to do it, but there is a guy who actually built, I'm sure you may have seen it, Your MK Arcade Source on YouTube. He takes like the real cabinets, he must have found one and was able to turn it into an MK Trilogy cabinet. He put like custom art that he did, really cool buttons, different color buttons, like the collar was black, I think, or it's probably the other way around. I think the collar was red and the button was black. It just looked really cool. I think it was running I think it was running the PC version. But yeah, you might want to look him up. He made one of those, and it's really a pretty cool build. I don't have any plans to do it, though. It's been a long time since I even played that one. I will say the PC version looked pretty cool, though. Wow, Adam Law Music, best guitar solo you've ever heard. I don't know if I have an answer for that. I'm not a big guitar guy now that I think about it. This is lame, I'm sure, because you have music in your title there. I used to play Guitar Hero, and I really liked playing the Rock You Like a Hurricane part. I know it's very nerdy, but that's not even like my favorite guitar solo. I never even thought of that. I'm really sorry I don't have a better answer for you. Blue X610, are you buying these at a discount? Actually, yes, every one I've bought was discounted. I guess you could even say this one, which I bought pre-modded, was discounted. I got it for like $500, plus the cost of gas. But Daniel was so nice to me. He was like, I really want you to have this cabinet. He knew I loved it. He was like, he just kept going down and down on the price until I said yes, which I felt terrible about. But it was only what I could afford at the time. You know, I just had that little bit extra cash. It's like, all right, let's go get it and pick it up. So yeah, I guess technically they've all been bought at a discount. This was a Street Fighter, the Killer Instinct. I realize now you may not be able to see it very well. And I bought that thing at I bought it soon after it came out, and it was probably $199, so not a huge discount. The MK2 I got at $199, and then the Final Fight was $99. I'm not cool enough to I'm not cool enough to be one of those people who finds $75 cabinets all the time. Daniel, the guy I keep talking about who built this one, he would find them right and left. It would kill me. He'd send me a message like, hey, I found another one. I think he had like 12 cabinets or something crazy, and all of them were at a discount. Moving on, I'll try to wrap this up. I was going to try to keep this to under an hour. It looks like we're at about 37 minutes. Yeah, I guess Brian Gillette. Yeah, I have not done an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 video. I've actually recorded one in the past. I've probably recorded two. Every time I edit it all together, I just sound like a complaining jerk when I'm playing the game because the game is really hard. I'm not very good at it anymore. And I end up just talking about how annoying it is. Like, why'd they have to make it like this? So I don't want to just sound like I'm complaining. I do like the game. It's a great game. I just haven't done a video on it. I still have one sitting on a hard drive somewhere. I'll probably scrap it and do it again, but we'll see. I was trying to back off making so many Mortal Kombat videos. Like, every one of my videos was like, here's a Mortal Kombat video, or Killer Instinct, and I am breaking that tradition. I think tomorrow a War Gods video is coming out. I think it'll be out tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I think I already read the trilogy one. I guess I jumped all around. Okay, Dwayne asks, when you mod an arcade 1-up, what do you typically do with the arcade game board when removed? You keep it or try to sell it? Now, I've kept every single one. They're in the closet right over there. I don't know why I keep them. I think the original plan was like, oh, I can hook this up and try to mess with it down the line. If maybe if somebody found a similar menu to like what they found on Mortal Kombat for Street Fighter, maybe I could just put it together for a minute to make a video, but I realized I probably can't even do that. I don't have any controls that'll connect to it anymore. It's all just in pieces. Like, I might sell the boards. We'll see what'll happen. I don't know. I don't know if I'll get much for them. I don't know if anybody pays anything for those. Can I have BBG Brother by God? Can I have one of your games? LOL. Help me. I'm poor. LOL. I'm really sorry, BBG Brother by God. I can't do that. That's crazy. These were way too expensive. Even if I were to sell this today, the Killer Instinct, which is the one I love the most, I would try to. I don't know if I would get it, but if I could get 900 to 1,000 for it, I would feel that would be worth it. Otherwise, I'll just keep it. It's just not worth the selling. You know, this thing's it's not a one of a kind by far anymore. A lot of people have them, but once you put the effort into it, and this one's really special to me anyway because I love Killer Instinct and all that, but it was my first build and all that. I can't get rid of that game. I can't think of one that I would get rid of. I certainly wouldn't give it to, so I apologize. Okay, Cobra Kyle, I challenge you to a fight. With a name like that, I'm afraid. You can definitely come over and be the 4th person ever to play my arcade games. It's probably going to be underwhelming when you actually get here, but we should do a Street Fighter battle. I know we talked about that in the past. You'll probably win, but like you said, we could play Killer Instinct. Maybe we'll make a video out of that. Cobra Kyle is a local friend of mine. We ride mountain bikes together, and he makes a pretty darn good mountain bike video if you want to go check it out. Oh, Richard removed his question because, okay, cool. I already answered it. Great. Z, been around a long time. I remember seeing your name for a while. Hey, Killer, can you give us a slight hint on what you're gonna do. Oh, okay. Well, since you just joined, you just missed it. It's gonna be an NFL Blitz cabinet, and other sports games like NBA Jam, Open Ice. I can't think of any other ones right now, but all those sports games that use that 3-button layout. Lord, I'm losing my voice. So I'll probably wrap it up here in the next few minutes. Yeah, Kyle, we'll have to put that together. You have to come by and do that soon. I've been thinking about it ever since you said it, and I think it would be interesting, like a Street Fighter guy battles Killer Instinct guy, and then vice versa. I don't know. If you haven't played Street Fighter in a while, there's a chance I might be able to spam you and actually win, but we'll see. I don't think you stand a chance on Killer Instinct. I'll probably even try to take it easy on you, but we'll see. Okay, Brian Gillette, have you memorized all of the Killer Instinct stats on attract mode? Does that say memorized? Yeah, it does. Okay. I don't know if I have actually. That's a good question. I love attract modes. I really nerd out on attract modes. Because when you run out of money as a kid, you're like, well, now what am I gonna do? I'm not going home. I just sit here and watch Killer Instinct run or watch all these games. And I think I am gonna do kind of like a series on attract modes coming up. Another update to the channel would be that I'm looking to buying kind of like a way to capture the video out of these, because recording the screen works, but it kind of sucks. I don't know for sure that I'll be able to capture the video without it being a problem, but I've built kind of a setup on Amazon. I'm waiting for some prices to be right, and I might order it and see how that goes. So I may be able to record some attract modes and talk about them. I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in that but me. I love attract modes, and I don't think there's too many of them on Amazon right now, or on YouTube right now. Oh no, am I muted? Or is Brian not hearing me? I don't know, everyone else has been hearing me, so hopefully... Uh-oh, can anyone hear me? I'm not going to talk too much, but... Okay, Kyle hears me, so I don't know, Brian, might be that hotel Wi-Fi you're on there, bud. Okay, oh god, there's so many questions. I love answering all these questions, too. Hollow Squad, I gotta answer that one. Would you get a shooter cabinet? I would definitely get one. That would be great. That was actually going to be what my next cabinet was going to be. The final fight was going to be a shooter cabinet. I have all kinds of plans for what I want to do with the shooter cabinet. I am going to use an arcade one up. I'm not going to use the monitor, and I'm going to modify the cabinet heavily. I don't want to give it away yet because I don't know if it's going to work, and I don't want to give anyone a bad idea. The plan is to basically almost chop the top off of an arcade one up. I don't want to say much more, but yeah. I'm waiting right now because I think it's called Sidon, those new guns, those light guns that are coming out that don't need a sensor bar and don't have a lot of lag. I was just going to buy the aim track guns, but I played one at Daniel's house and it was fun, but it didn't feel very precise, unfortunately, and I just really don't want to... I don't want to spend all that money. It's like $300 or $400 for the guns and everything that goes with them, I think. Just for the guns, and then just to not have them work that great. And these little screens, they aren't quite big enough. So, it's going to be an expensive build when I do it. Trying to hold out maybe the Sidon or Sin, I can't remember what the hell they're called. Maybe they'll come out and be reasonably priced. Excuse me. Crap. I gotta... Oh. I'm glad you got a deal there, Razor 625. Kyle, it's been 10 years since you played Street Fighter. So yeah, I may actually win because I've played it more recently. But you can brush up before we play. Marvel vs. Capcom. Hadouken says Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet? Question mark. I never really played that one. I know people aren't gonna like hearing that. I never strayed from the American fighting games usually, and now maybe that, I don't know why. I really don't know why. When I do play them now, I think I have. Let me check really quick. I'll check my Killer Instinct here. I think I have that game. And I did play one recently, and I do have plans to do a video on it soon. No, I don't have that game. I was thinking of Street Fighter Alpha 2. And I actually beat that game the other day, and it was fun. So that was cool. So maybe I'll do a video on that soon. I'm going to wrap this up here in the next like 5 minutes because my voice is kind of going. Okay. Everyone can hear me. Still like that name, Group Dookie Train album Deuce Lounge. That's funny. I don't really get it, but it's funny. Okay, everyone can hear me. Good. Cristo Cream. Sure, I love you, man. Why not? Maybe you're a lady. I don't know. Hi, Matt Hunter, 565. Brian Gillette, favorite Mortal Kombat fatality of all time. Good question. All that comes to mind right now. There's a lot of them I really like. I never laughed so hard until I saw the Quan Chi leg beat. He rips off their leg and just beats the hell out of them with their own leg until the next fight starts. I don't know why. It's just hilarious. I'd be playing it in arcades, and back in the old days, people would watch you play an arcade game if you were good at it, and that gives you this weird sense of like accomplishment. I don't know what the word is. I felt special, and I'd make sure to pull off that fatality when people were watching, and they'd always get a good laugh out of it. So I think that's definitely my most memorable one, and probably my favorite, really. Okay, BKXC. I think Namco Point Blank is one. Oh man. Okay, I think Namco Point Blank is one of my all-time favorite arcade games, and I agree. And it's not one you find anywhere anymore. That's definitely going to be in my shooter cabinet. I love that game. I had it on PS1, and I had the little light guns and all that, and I still have it all. I just don't have a TV anymore. The CRTs are dead. I threw them all away. But yeah, I do love that game. Okay. Like 2 more questions and I'm out of here because this is getting too long. Okay. Trying to read them really quick. I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. I gotta get closer. Okay. Matt, you will definitely see more Killer Instinct soon. Oh boy. Sparky AR or Sparkyar. I'm looking to buy some good all-around buttons and sticks for my main cabinet. Sanwa are hard to find here in Argentina. What other brand should I look for? I don't know what they have in Argentina. I prefer Hap, personally. I think they're called Suzo Hap now. Some purists will tell you that what you're using is not what was in the arcade games. They were bought out, but they still feel the same to me. Hap arcade sticks are great. I like them a lot. So I would check into those. Other than that, maybe look on Amazon. I'm sure you have, but maybe check Amazon. You might be able to find like some knockoff Sanwas, which might be just as good. That's a weird one. I don't know why you can't get them there, but it's not something I ever think about in the U.S. I guess ugly American right here, but it is weird how people have trouble even getting arcade 1-up cabinets outside of the country, and that really sucks. Hopefully they fix that in the future. Okay. Well, do one more question, and if I pick yours over someone else's, I'm very sorry. Yes, Kyle, Time Crisis was very good. Yeah, your parents' money. Okay, I'll just make this an easy question. I apologize if I don't answer yours. Matt Hunter, 565. Any possible to use internet on your modded KI arcade? Yeah, I guess you could. I know that someone has made an emulator for Killer Instinct that allows for online play. I never plug mine into the internet. They're all wired anyway. They're just old PCs that don't have Wi-Fi. I don't plug it in unless I need to update something on it or transfer more games to it. The reason for that is it leaves it wide open to problems. This has never once crashed on me while I was playing. Windows updates are turned off. As soon as I did plug it in one time while it was still running, first thing that happened is something popped up in the corner and was like, hey, you want to check this, your internet connection? And I don't know, it was crazy. So I would advise everyone to just leave theirs disconnected unless you want to run into potential problems. Okay, one last question. Crystal Cream, all-time favorite video game. I'm answering this because it's a very easy answer. It's got to be Killer Instinct. I love it. It really changed how I looked at arcade games. It was like, this is more than just, it was something that I could see that I wouldn't have at my house for a very long time, even though it lied to me and said it was coming to my home in 1995 only on arcade, or, oh god, I lost it, only on Nintendo Ultra 64. And that was like, really, this thing's coming to the house next year? No way. No way, and of course it didn't happen. Came out on the Super Nintendo, as most of you know, and it was kind of crappy. Yeah, Brian, you're definitely right. I've got my water here. Unfortunately, I grabbed the Very Manly Pink water. God. I mean, I can really talk about arcade games all night, but my voice can't, unfortunately. Thank you very much, Hollow Squad. I appreciate that. It's very nerve-wracking to do a live stream. You never know if anyone's going to watch it for one, or how it's going to go. I personally need to do this more because It's too easy to just stand here, record a bunch of crap, and delete all the stuff I say that's not necessary, which I do a lot of. I do a little too much of, probably. So you never really get to see any personality out of me. It's just like I'm essentially a news reporter, like, okay, I like this and that. And I think it hurts the channel ultimately. But moving on. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. There's some more questions coming in. I will do another one of these maybe in like a couple weeks or so. I said that last time I did my first live stream, and that was last year. I'm going to try to maybe do this where I'll put a post on the community page on YouTube, and if you don't know where to find that, just go to my channel where it says home, videos, play, I don't know, all that stuff. Somewhere in there is community. Click that. You can see posts that I make, and you can leave comments, and that's what I did just the other day. It was like, hey, I want to do an Ask Me Anything. That way I don't have to just sit here and play games and you can't see me. So just look for that in the future. I'll post it on there and leave your questions. That's a pretty good way to guarantee I answer it, unless I start getting a ton of them. And then I got to kind of go off the whole most upvoted question thing. I don't think I'm at that anywhere near that problem just yet with just, 3,000 subscribers. It's not going to be that big of an issue. So I can't look at any more comments because I just want to keep answering the questions. So yeah, it's been almost an hour. Thank you guys for watching. There is going to be the replay of this up. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. I guess you probably won't watch it unless you got in here late. But if you want to see some of the other questions I answered, like what this new Final Fight cabinet's for, I guess, my first favorite arcade game, or my first memory of an arcade game, my favorite arcade game, the one I spent the most money on, all that good stuff. Be sure to watch the replay. It'll probably be up here in just maybe an hour or so. And until next time, if you're not a subscriber already, please click subscribe. Click the thumbs up on this one if you can, or if you don't mind, I should say. It does help people find it on YouTube. And thanks for joining me on the stream. I'll see you guys on the next one.